All right, Sky Squad, we are back up in this Ponderosa, and we have got to discuss the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 12, Episode 11, The Weight of Words. Now, this is a play on words here because there's obviously going to be some talk about, body weight, body image, and those sorts of things. So we're going to have to get into the nitty gritty of it all. And we're going to actually do a little bit of eating today. Okay. But all of that just is going to come in just 1 second. Listen, if you are in the building, chime down in the chatterization whether or not you watched this latest episode of the Real Housewives of the Beverly Hills, baby. I actually forgot to post that we was going live today at about 11:45, but I ended up getting home late because I had to do the 10 to 11 a.m. hour of Good Day DC. But guess what, y'all? We are nevertheless in the mother freaking building, okay? We are in the building and we are about to get down into the get down with this, baby. I see y'all in the building. Come on and creep on through, okay? Now, before we, even get into the nitty gritty of this episode, we're going to rate this on a scale of 1 through 10, as we typically do with our, raterizations, okay? So on a scale of 1 to about a 10, I'm going to give this episode about an 8.5. I'm going to give it an 8.5 because I feel like the dramaticness of the episodes were really about in the very beginning and in the very end. And then we got a very chaotic return of Kathy Hilton in this episode, okay? And it was interesting nonetheless. This was a good one of those transitional episodes, and I don't really mind those, to be honest with you, if I feel like we get some good nuggets and some good thingamabobs. Garcelle was in very little of this episode except when it mattered, and we had a lot more of Cherie because half of the ladies had the pandy, okay? The panorama is still running amok. Y'all done heard that the president, Joe Biden, has now got the pandy too. That was just breaking just about a few moments ago, in case you hadn't heard. So the pandy is still out there, y'all, and it's still sinister. It's still out to get the people, but that's all right, though, because we're going to make it do what it do up in this review, all right? Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into the episode. So we first get a phone call that Dorit, she's calling to check up on Lisa Rinna, okay, who has the pandy along with Garcelle and Erika at first, right? So we learned that she's about to head to a luncheon at Kyle's place, and Kyle is having Jamie Lee Curtis over, okay, to host a charity event for her business, My Hand in Yours, which raises money for Children's Hospital of the Los Angeles. And in order to do this, you have to be at a very specific level of giving. About the 25,000, level of giving. You know what I'm saying? Not them, not the 200 to 300, but about the 25,000 level. Okay, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. They have Jamie Lee Curtis listed as Kyle's friend, but in my mind, I'm thinking y'all should have put the living legend, okay, Jamie Lee Curtis, because Jamie Lee Curtis is a household name. How many times she done went up against Michael Myers and won? That woman is a living legend. You know what I'm saying? So to diminish her to simply just being Kyle's friend, I thought was hilarious to me. Okay, I thought it was hilarious. Meanwhile, for some reason during the seating chart for this event, Kyle has chosen to sit Sutton next to Diana. Because she wasn't thinking about it all. You know what I'm saying? Of course she was thinking about it, because she was expecting and anticipate, because Sutton is going to be at this brunch, that Sutton is going to be the source of the drama, okay? As is usually the case. So anyway, all the ladies start to show up. Well, whatever's left of them. Cherie, sorry, not Cherie. So when Sutton sees her seat, she's like, no, ma'am, Pam. Okay, no, ma'am, Pam. And so Kyle got to, shuffle the seating arrangements to move Diana far away from Sutton. And Kyle jokes, well, I mean, Sutton's going to argue with someone anyway. Again, this is why I was saying Kyle was counting on Sutton and Diana to get into it all over again, okay? And she can be the mastermind behind it all by putting the two of them next together, getting her EP credits and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's talk about, for some reason, Cherie's eyelashes is falling out, okay? And so, Sutton, ever the dear friend, tries to glue the eyelash back on the eyelid, but instead plops a glob of the glue down into Cherie's eye. So Jamie Lee Curtis got to get up out of her seat and go over there and help Cherie put the eyelash back on because Sutton almost glued the woman's eyes shut. All right. So anyway, as that's happening, Dorit very loudly whispers to Diana, I heard you had lunch with Sutton. How did it go? And Diana, ever one for the dramatics, okay, dirty Diana. Okay, she says it was terrible. I was repulsed by her. I wanted to scrub my body. She just offends my space and she breaks my soul. Okay, you won't break my soul. Okay, she broke her soul. Anyway, meanwhile, as the branzino is being served and Jamie gets to speaking about the gift bags, Dorit is just excited about everything in the gift bag. Okay, Jamie Lee Curtis, there's a cup here from my hand and yours. And Dorit's like, ooh, it's so chic. I want one of those. Give me one. We have a little bracelet here from my hand and yours. Dorit, ooh, oh my God, I need to have one of those. It's so chic. Here's a hat from my hand and yours. Oh my goodness, I need that hat, girl. Give me that hat. It's so chic. Okay, here is a small remote for the TV by my hand and yours. Oh, yes, give me that remote, baby. Okay, you would think Jamie Lee Curtis was doing the QVC the way that Dorit was crying and screaming about them products, trying to get into the good favor of the Jamie Lee Curtis. Everything is so chic. Oh, my goodness. I just want all of these basic items, okay? Meanwhile, and everybody is laughing at her because they can all see that she going extra hard for the Jamie Lee Curtis. Okay, so we learned that Kyle Richards is going to see, and here's the thing, Dorit. If you put your money where your mouth is, okay. If everything is so chic and you're getting all these gifts, Kyle Richards is putting down $25,000. Diana's gonna match that. I'm waiting on Dorit to pull out her checkbook and so she can write a check for $25,000 too, but that never happens, okay? I mean, the way she was going on about those items, you would have thought she would have paid 30, 40, 50,000 for that bag, okay? Everything was just so chic. You know what I'm saying? So chic. Meanwhile, Jamie Lee Curtis collects her coins and she got to go dip, okay? Because she's like, I did my job today. I got this money and I got this money right here and I'm out. Deuces. So the ladies gather around the fire. It's Dorit, Sutton, and Cherie. Dorit wants to know from Sutton how the lunch went. Okay. Now, Cherie asks Sutton, why are you always in trouble? And Sutton is like, well, because I say what I think. And so Cherie is like, how is that working out for you? Sutton says, not well. But if I was quiet, then you would all be bored. And she is absolutely right. Okay. To me, I find that Sutton is one of those characters on a reality TV show that we don't really see a lot of in this day and age. She is not perfectly manicured to the point where she is too afraid to tarnish herself, to tarnish her image by saying exactly what she thinks and exactly what she feels, even if it's, mildly inappropriate or mildly offensive. If we have more of those types of characters on reality TV, storylines wouldn't need to be faked and such as they tend to be these days, okay? So no, I don't want Sutton to keep her mouth closed because it is the thing that gets her into trouble and makes this franchise probably the most exciting it's been in a very long time since we lost Kim Richards, okay? Meanwhile, they try to school her on, well, girl, you questioned her, when she was at her lowest point and things like that. Now, here's the thing about Dirty Diana. She did not tell the ladies what she went through and how close it was in proximity to her joining the cast. Even when she told Kyle thought that this whole experience that she went through was months ago. Like either months or years ago. So because it is so fresh, Diana's a lot more raw about it, which is understandable to it, because at that point now we all have a better understanding of, oh, girl, you still going through the situation. Okay, so that gives me a little bit more perspective. I don't really like the things that she does on social media though, but at least it gives me a better idea of her headspace as she's coming into this franchise, which she should have let at least the audience know, so we could have been at least on the lookout for the signs that she's going through something. Anyway, Sutton wants to know why it was okay for Diana to mock her and her miscarriages. And then Dorit says Sutton makes everything about herself. And then we get a flashback to somehow Sutton going for margaritas during Dorit's break-in about Sutton. Dorit, if you don't let this thing go, okay, you got to let it go. If this woman is she not supposed to eat? Is she not supposed to have a drink, in her life because you have gone through a harrowing experience? I'm not negating that, but you can't make what Sutton does in her own private life about you, okay? You can't make that about you, all right? Because if that was the case, then everybody should have shut down and did nothing until you said so, okay? Meanwhile, Crystal, Kyle, and Diana are chatting about Crystal's body image issues and a post she made on Instagram, sort of being very open about it. Kyle asks if she eats very little and if she throws up. Now, personally, I would not have asked that question if it's enough for me to know that Crystal has body image issues. It's also enough for me to know that she has had an eating disorder in the past. I did not know, okay, that she was still going through the actions of those eating disorders presently. At least that's how it came across. But interestingly enough, when Kyle chooses to talk about her own past with eating disorders, it's not considered her making everything about herself. Suddenly, it's okay for Kyle to talk about her own past with an eating disorder. But if it was Sutton, then Sutton would be making it all about her. This is where we get those double standards and hypocrisy amongst this group of ladies. What's good for the goose needs to be good for the gander. I don't have a problem with Kyle sharing her past experience because I know when people do that, it is really so that they can show that person that they're not alone. You know what I'm saying? But it always seems to me that when Sutton does it, it's, oh my God, oh my Lord, she is making everything all about herself. You know what I'm saying? And I did feel like I agree with you to a certain degree, Philly D, but they were so invasive. And to be honest with you, I really didn't feel like it was the time or the place to have that conversation. I know that she brought it up on camera, but I don't even think Crystal was prepared for her to go into the level of questioning that she did when she did about that particular topic. So that was kind of interesting to me. You know what I mean? Like, I was kind of like, I don't really know about this. This is not making me feel too good. You know what I'm saying? You know what's funny, y'all? I didn't even know I wasn't live for the whole YouTube community. I've been sitting right here just talking to y'all that I sent the text message to. Not even, and I had placed the video on unlisted. I didn't even know I hadn't put it on public yet. Screaming to the world, y'all. YouTube, let the people know we live. You know, I'm just sitting here talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. I ain't even paid no attention to the fact that the video won't even public on the YouTube. I just made it public. So My bad. You know what I'm saying? My bad. Give me 1 second real quick. Let me let the people know that we are live in the community tab, because some people won't know, and I just need to rectify this situation real nice and to the quickness. You know what I'm saying? Give me 1 second, y'all. Just give me 1 second to make this community post. We live, okay? Tap in. My bad, y'all. I had just gotten ahead of myself because I just got so many things on my mind today that it's just, oh, my Lord have mercy. Y'all have no idea, baby. Y'all have no idea the trials, the struggle I done seen today, okay? So anyway, hey, y'all, welcome to the Ponderosa. My bad. Oops. So anyway, as we proceed, hey y'all, just so y'all know, we rating this episode a 8.5 for those of you that just came into the room. My apologies, I forgot to set the video on public. I had it unlisted. My bad. Okay, my bad. Okay, please just charge it to my mind and not my heart. All right. Meanwhile, okay. So Kyle asked all the invasive questions, and it really hurts my soul that Crystal says that she hates what she's eating every day. And she also says that physically being in her body sucks. That just broke my heart, man, because you hear people talk about these experiences, but you don't really realize like how they actually view and see and feel themselves. And for her to open up in that way, I just felt like, wow, man. Like it just tore my soul and my spirit up, for her. Meanwhile, they decide to go and join the other ladies around the fire. And I'm thinking to myself, here we go. Kyle wants to know, well, girls, what were y'all talking about? So they lie and say they were just talking about lunch. Diana says, awkward. So Sutton says Diana isn't really ready to accept anything. And Diana is like, she right. And Kyle is like, wait, accept what? Accept what? Because Kyle got to stir it up. Kyle got to take a spoon. She got to dip her fingers in the broth and stir up the soup. You know what I'm saying? And so Sutton says, well, you know what? I'm done apologizing. Yeah, right. Okay. Diana says, then she begins to really open up about her situation. She says, I came back to LA too soon. She regrets partying in Mexico because the drinking in Mexico really, and the partying and the travel and all of those things worked in tandem to cause her to, go back to bleeding. And then she was going through a lot. And so she feels like that led her to sending the rude message to the group. And no one really knew that she was suffering in the way that she was, because she was I felt like it was time to film and she needed to get into the ball game and film. And nobody knew that the event that happened with her losing her baby was it was not that long ago. And even again, like I said earlier, when she told Kyle about it, we didn't know the duration of time between when that happened. I just thought it happened either some years ago, but no, it was very recent. So at that point, Sutton just says, listen, I was just trying to connect with you. I accept 95% of the blame. And she lets Diana know, take all the time you need. And Diana just calls a timeout for both of them, and they let it go. Okay. So then Lisa calls Erika Jayne, and they both on the mend from the panorama, from the Pandy. And they talk about Erika's, the LA Magazine article that had talked about Erika. And it's basically talking about all the lawsuits. She says the lawsuits dehumanize her and they call her overly ambitious. Okay. And then Rena asks, well, girl, have you talked to the Tom? Okay. And of course, Erika has. And she's told Tom she has the Pandy right now. And apparently she's legally separated. But if she were to get a divorce, she would have to pay alimony to Tom, so she's not even at a place where she can afford to be ready to divorce that man, okay? Meanwhile, Diana and her man-child go prep for the Christmas party. Is it me, or do Diana's curls shrink up every time she's in a confessional in that white blazer? I mean, those curls, I feel like they just getting tighter and tighter and tighter up on her head. And I feel like, girl, who is doing your hair? And why do these curls get so tight every time I see you? It's like one confessional, they down to here. The next confessional, they up to here. The next confessional, they attached to the head. The next confessional, they is like this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, who is doing this? Because it is very distracting to me and my home people, okay? It's very distracting. It's very distracting indeed. Like, and I know they're supposed to make the confessional look the same every time they film it, because, you know, they, for whatever reason, they will film like one look like 3-4 times. And I just feel like if y'all can't make the hair look the same every time, then stop doing it like that. Because this look is not her best look. And every time the curls get tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter up on that head, like that when Nene was talking about Claudia Jordan's bob, and she said it was like this. Now, Claudia, your bob won't really like that. But the way Nene had made it seem like the bob was like, you know what I'm saying? The curls is just so tight. It's just so, ooh, it's distracting to me. It's just, I don't know why it distracts me so. Anyway, finally, we get to the most chaotic scene of the night, okay? Kathy Hilton is back, all right? So over at Kathy Hilton's Christmas lair, the halls are decked, and the lady, a.k.a. Paula, has prepped the caviar, the hors d'oeuvres in preparation for Kyle's arrival. Now, what we learn is Kathy had prepared all of these Christmas decors for Architectural Digest, and she has a different style of Christmas tree in every room, okay? But Kyle say the Christmas trees be up every year. Now, I tried to leave my Christmas tree up, but the folks kept making fun of me and telling me to take it down. But I thought to myself, well, you know, if we go ahead and leave it up, the festivities last all year. And then we ain't got to go through all the hassle of putting the tree back up, but the people wouldn't let me be great. So the Christmas tree is down, all right? Meanwhile, Kathy has to ask, has to call, they sit outside, okay, and they're about to have some lunch. Now, Kathy says it's hard to get in touch with Kyle these days. She's called her a million times, but Kathy, I don't know if you realize this. You said you changed your number. So if you changed your number and you did not tell your sister, if you calling her 10,000 times, you calling her from a number that she probably does not recognize. So like me, I'm not answering the phone for a number that I don't recognize. It don't make no sense, okay? But anyway, speaking of her phone, she done lost it. So Kathy then has to call Carol, her brand manager, not to be confused with Paula or the lady, okay, from last season. Because, you know, last season, she needed the lady at her house who she did not remember her name. But the lady's name is Paula to find her phone last year. So anyway, she got to call Carol, who is probably somebody new, you know, to go find her phone. Now, I don't know if we ever find the phone or not. But what I do know is Kathy is then served a baked potato, okay? Just a baked potato. Now, in my mind, I thought to myself, is this a sweet potato that she about to dive into? But no. It is a regular potato, okay? So we got a potato on the plate, and I think that that's what they're going to be having for lunch, okay? So anyway, Paula, she's running around, and then we got to deal with the passing of the spoon, okay, for the caviar, okay? Now, apparently, this is how they do in Paris, okay? You got the potato, all right? You got the potato here, all right? All right, so we have our potato, all right? We have the potato here, right? And so what you're going to do is you're going to take the caviar, okay? We got the caviar here, all right? You see the caviar right there in the thing. Okay, and so then what you're going to do is you're going to take a heaping helping, okay? A heaping helping of caviar, okay? And then what you're going to do from there is you are going to dump the caviar into the potato, okay, like so. All right. So you got, let me, because Kathy said you got to put a lot up in there. So you're going to add a little bit more. All right. Okay. So now you have got your caviar and your potato. All right. Yes, yes. And so from that point, again, this is how they do it in the Paris. They dumps all of the caviar from the bottle, okay? And then you got that's how you eat it. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna taste this Parisian dish, okay? We're gonna taste this Parisian dish and we're gonna see how it goes down. Okay, so we got a big potato and a whole container of the caviar, okay? That's how the rich people do it when you're into Paris, okay? Hold on for a second. Oh, that's a lot of salt. Lord, I know my blood pressure up. And so anyway, Kathy has been wrapping so many presents that her fingers are starting to bleed. Yes, indeed. Did you know? Because it's Christmas time. And she's just got so much to do. She doesn't understand how Kyle does it all. You know what I'm saying? Apparently some of the dogs or somebody peed on Kathy's sofa. I don't know who that was, okay? And then all the carpets have been ruined in the house, all right? So it's a lot going on at Kathy's house, all right? Back over to Diana's. Her and the man-child. Oh, that's a lot of salt. Her and the man-child are previewing all the party favors in the decor, okay? And she's got to figure out how to make the space look fuller because since the Pandy is here, people can't come to the party. So now she got to make, because normally, a Dirty Diana party got about 50,000 people. I don't know if you heard. But whatever. Everybody's getting their glam. Crystal calls Lisa and tells her, girl, Dorit done tested positive for the Pandy, so she ain't coming. Erika reveals that she's ready to have a good time, as per usual. I mean, though, in fact, let's go ahead and pregame with some champagne, she says. Back at Dirty Diana's, she slithers down the stairs in her Elvira gown. Rob and Crystal arrives, and I said it in my notes. Crystal in this scene looks amazing, okay? Amazing. In this short green dress, baby. I was like, yes, Crystal, this is lit right here. Cherie arrives, followed by Lisa and Erika in her Cruella de Vil fur. And Erika's planning to drink, maybe even as much as she did at Garcelle's. Yes. Ain't no telling who she gonna curse out or offend tonight. Anyway, Kyle finally arrives in her mask. She's afraid to take it off as of yet. Okay, I'm not sure why. But she's brought a gift. We learned that Sutton also tested positive for the Pandy, so she ain't coming. So in my mind, there goes the drama. All right. But don't worry, Chaotic Kathy is on the way, and she arrives bearing some bottles. So Diana knows Kathy as Paris Hilton's mom, but I don't think she knows her all that well. Oh, here comes Garcelle looking like the only Christmas tree. And of course, she has a gift for Diana's daughter, and she's bringing her good energy, unlike the energy that Diana brought to her party. So then Garcelle tells Crystal, girl, you looking good and thin right here. Okay. I can't really tell how Crystal feels about that. But Garcelle tells her to say, girl, just say thank you. Because I'm giving it to you as a compliment, right? So Crystal says, well, I just feel weird about the holidays because it's a lot of food. So then Inspector Erika gets to asking questions, okay? And she says, well, what is it about? And Crystal tells her that it's a lot of food and she doesn't feel good about it. Erika then says, well, I always think, just take some laxatives and get rid of the food, Hmm. Ooh, the song. I don't know. I'm not a medical professional. I am not a dietitian, but I don't think that one should be just taking laxatives to lose a little weight from the food you ate. You know what I'm saying? I just it because when you take a laxative, I mean, I don't know if you can really control how much is gonna come out. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know about it. Meanwhile, um, Garcelle's like, wow, what? In her confessional, Erika says, well, I'm not a no, 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 no. In Garcelle's confessional, she says Erika's not a doctor and you don't prescribe laxatives to someone with an eating disorder. Why would she do that? Like, it's one thing to be curious about, what Crystal is going through, but I do think that you should be read the room, right? Crystal has a gentle personality, so there's no way I would come at her with hard-hitting questions about, whatever she's going through unless, she opened up in such a way that I felt comfortable doing that. But even in that situation, because I know I can gauge her personality, this just ain't the right route of questioning that Erika is going down. And I don't understand why that's not registering to her. Because if this were Sutton asking these questions, all of those girls will be having a fit right now, okay? Meanwhile, Garcelle goes off to greet Kyle and Cherie. Erika continues with her line of questioning. She says, so what happens when you purge, girl? And I'm thinking to myself, was it clear that she's still doing that? And if so, did she really want anybody to know that? I was just like, this is very invasive to me. Very invasive. JMW says, if she's not eating much, what is coming out with the lax? I'm confused. Stop asking questions. Basically, that's like, I mean, these are, when you really put your private eyeglasses on, these are the questions that have to come about next. Okay. Oh, that was some salty stuff. Anyway, so after Erika says, well, girl, what happens when you purge? Crystal says, I feel better. It's like a relief. So Erika says, is it because it's out? What do you think? Anyway, Crystal says, yeah. So then Erika says, so do you enjoy it going down? Crystal says, yeah, but I feel guilty. Then Erika says, well, as you vomit it up, I would rather poop it out. You know what I'm saying? And so then Crystal in her confessional is like, is she trying to be helpful or has she had too many drinks at this point? So then Erika says, have you had treatment? Crystal says, it's time, and I would agree. And then Erika also agrees. Now, as the food is being served, because they coming around, they're passing out chicken nuggets, not potatoes. Erika takes a piece of the chicken tender, okay? And as Crystal is even, I don't know if she was trying to take a piece of chicken tender or maybe she just looked at the chicken tender the wrong way. And Erika was like, girl, you can't have this. It's a chicken tender, okay? First of all, if the girl wants to eat, that's making a healthy decision in this moment as she just got finished talking about her eating disorder. Two, you telling her not to eat the chicken tender is like basically saying, girl, you shouldn't be eating that, which is also going to lead to the thinking she's referring to my weight or, she's, something, it's whatever that space is that we don't want Crystal to be in. That kind of statement is going to be one of the things that takes her into that space. You know what I'm saying? And you just got finished talking to her about the eating. So now you're going to try to tell this girl not to eat anything? And then she chuckles as she's saying it. Girl, it's a chicken tender. You can't have it. Go eat some caviar. Okay. So Then Erika is off to find some more alcohol. Yes, I got to go drink some more. At this point, even Lisa Rinna is looking shocked at this point. And we end on a to be continued. Now, y'all know I hate a to be continued when it doesn't really need to be one. This wasn't one of those situations where it needs to be a to be continued. The only to be continued that I want to see is unless you're giving me today or tomorrow the mid-season trailer for the rest of the season. Otherwise, this to be continued is stupid. Because it really wasn't like some major cliffhanger. I mean, Erika acted a mess the way that she has been doing for the past couple of episodes. Nobody is calling her out. Again, if this were Sutton, they would all be having a tizzy right now. They would all be buck wild and running through the streets, dragging her to and fro. Okay, it would be mutiny on this set. They would be crying out for her to be fired and she should go. You know what I'm saying? Lisa Rinna would write a whole essay about how cruel and evil Sutton was on her IG story as she continued to dance and frolic about. You know what I'm saying? Dancing for Harry and things. Dirty, get your dance on. You know what I'm saying? As she led the group with a pitchfork to have Sutton ousted from the show. Okay, but because it's Erika, I mean, you know, Erika's just letting her hair down. Erika's just being free. It's so nice to see her let her hair down for once. You know, and as far as I know, she's only said something offensive maybe 1 or 2 times before. But yes, let her hair down. Sure, Crystal's feelings probably was hurt, but okay, who cares? I mean, it's not my feelings per Dorit, okay? Just like she said, it wasn't her kids, okay? So I just think that the level of hypocrisy is actually quite dangerous on this show, to be honest with you, especially as we head into the territory of talking about somebody's, you know, as sensitive a subject as somebody's disorder. That if she is, you know, first of all, I have to give her props for even being able to talk about it. And hopefully being able to talk about it in this way means that she's on the path to getting the help that she needs and mentally being ready to move forward in a positive direction. But comments like the ones that Erika's making are just ignorant and dumb. And I can't even believe an adult, even a drunk one, would even make those comments to somebody who is clearly still going through the struggle. Like, to me, it's just dirty and disgusting. And the fact that nobody, I'm sure, is going to have any issue with it. You know what I'm saying? As per the usual, it's just going to be Erika being Erika, letting the weave and the locks down. You know what I'm saying? Oh, the pretty mess is just finally opening up. She's no longer the ice queen. Get the heck out of here with that mess. You know what I'm saying? Get out of here. And it seems to me the only person that's even remotely interested in saying something about it is Garcelle at this point, because everybody else is just glossing over the issues. You know what I'm saying? Kyle making excuses for, Dorit making excuses for, Mauricio making excuses for, PK making excuses for. So to me, the only thing I'm waiting for is for Lisa Rinna to start making some excuses for. But again, I'm sure, if it had been Sutton, Lisa Rinna would have already written an Encyclopedia Britannica about her on her Instagram stories, okay? We would have been seeing that. And did you see, while I'm talking about it, last night on Watch What Happens Live, shout out to Tamara Judge for finally coming back to the Orange County and saving that show. But did you see Andy was like, he did it like 2-3 times. Now, listen, I ain't got no issues with Andy, but my thought about it was this. I felt like he was working overtime to get Lisa Milan to say, "Oh, you and Lisa Rinna worked out your issues, right?" She said it at the beginning of the show. Then he wanted to reiterate it again so the people won't be mad at Lisa Rinna no more for all of her problematic posting that she's done on the Instagram. We ain't forgot about it. I don't care if they made up, because I'm still mad, okay? I'm glad they made up, and I'm glad they resolved their issues. But the fact of the matter is, the woman has rage and regret syndrome, okay? She gets in her feelings. She gets to causing a ruckus online. I don't know if she thinks that's going to cause more interest in her persona or her character or her plot line on the show. I don't really know. All I do know is that at the right age that she is at this point in time, and this is not an ageism comment, this is about maturity level. I'm saying to you that at this point in the game, you are an esteemed actress. You have done the soaps. You have done so much in your life. So to see you resort to Instagram antics is just disappointing. It is futile, first of all, and it makes absolutely no sense. And you're doing yourself absolutely no favors because you're actually digging a digger pit for yourself by jumping on Instagram, cursing people out, calling people hoes, disrespecting fans of the show, and making problematic statements for yourself. You, ma'am, needs the PR and not Bravo's. I'm talking about your own. And so, to be honest with you, I wouldn't even be surprised if next season they started to phase this woman out because at the end of the day, she's creating more problems than she is creating entertainment. Okay, that's all I got to say about that. Now, with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in to my TED Talk. Okay, I'm gonna try to eat some more of this baked potato. Okay. With that being said, y'all know that I love y'all. And this is how the rich folks do. And I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video. Yes, indeed.